Yeah, I know I took another hiatus, but I promise I'm gonna make up for that because I'm going to be posting 3 videos, and it's a 3-part series of how to master the handstand and the handstand push-up. So this video, I'm just gonna be talking about how to get the handstand, like kind of like the process and the best way to get it. And then the next video will be how to get the handstand push-up or how to bridge the gap from handstand to handstand push-up. Then it'll be how to master the handstand push-up so you can unlock all the cool moves like the press, the planche, strap planche push-ups, 90-degree handstand push-ups, all the cool stuff you see on Instagram. So, cut to the chase, because I hate it when a lot of calisthenic YouTube videos are like 15 to 20 minutes long. I'm going to break it down super easily for you. A handstand. If you're super beginner, first thing you need to worry about is just to understand it's just a straight line. What you're basically doing is that you are balancing your entire body weight on your hands and your hips and upper back, sort of. So, when you're in a handstand, you don't have like a heel. So I hate it when people compare your hand to your foot, because it's not. It's not like that. There's no heel here. Just your wrist when you're trying to hold it. So when you try to kip up into a handstand, the 2 reasons why you fall over is simple. It's because you are not pressing hard enough with your fingers, or your legs are too far in the back. Okay, it's like, let's say this is your handstand. Like, these are your hands right here, right here. It doesn't matter how hard you press here if your legs are all the way over here, because you're gonna have to overcompensate so much more. Instead, try not to kip up as much or kip up as over. And if you're falling too far back consistently, all that really just means is that you're not pushing hard enough because you're pushing out. So, how to basically get it and consistently have it and not get yourself injured like I did, because I got myself injured plenty of times learning the handstand. First thing is you have to warm up. I'm sorry, it sucks, but you cannot skip the warm up, otherwise you will suffer. The way I messed this up when I first got my handstand, if I have a clip on me getting a handstand push up, I literally cooked my wrist, because the first time I busted up my left wrist, it was doing handstands. I was skipping PE to learn my handstand. After I got my handstand, or a somewhat decent handstand push up, I busted my left wrist. I could not even press it on the ground, otherwise I would scream. After I waited a month for it to heal, I went back into handstands, not learning my lessons, and then I sprained the right wrist. Literally comical. The left one was cooked. Waited a month, wasted all that time, went back to it. Then I busted up the right one. Then I had to wait another month to do it. So, and I still have to do some type of physical therapy if I do too much handstands without proper warm up, or even with proper warm up. So, I'm going to put a link in the description of a good wrist warm up. You don't have to do all of it, but it's pretty good. It's recommended you do it. After you do the wrist routine, what I recommend is that if you're going to make your own kind of warm up, I recommend that you do some type of wrist routine, some type of movement where you're involving shoulder elevation, where shoulder elevation is just basically, people do handstands like this, but what you want to do is just have that shoulder almost damn near touching your ear. So some type of movement like that, where just like to wake up those trapezius muscles. Afterwards, you need 2 things. You need something to get blood flow in the wrists, and then you need either wrist stretches or wrist push-ups. If you can do that, then the warm-up's good enough. Now, the way to actually get the handstand, it is very simple, but it sucks. What you have to do is you have to spam the living hell out of it. There is no one on this planet that got a good handstand without spamming the shit out of it. And if they did, they're a genetic freak. You and me were not genetic freaks. You have to actually bust your ass to get this so-called basic level movement. What is the best protocol, in my opinion, would just be literally greasing the groove. So greasing the groove is basically just, you do a gigantic workout, but you spread it across the day. So what I did to get my handstand was that I woke up, I did a couple handstands, and then I got ready, went to school. At school, I could skip PE, so I skipped PE to do more handstands. That's like an extra 30 minutes of practice. After I finished that, I would go home. Right before I go to bed, I do another couple sets of handstands. Literally, I want to establish enough confidence to where it's just like, if the devil himself, he was going to kill my family if I couldn't do a handstand for like 5 to 10 seconds. Is that toxic? Maybe, but I got a handstand. That's just like kind of like the mindset where it kind of like forces you to get good at things. So spam the handstand as much as you can. If you have spare time and enough space, spam the living hell out of it, or at least try to do handstand practice for like 15 to 30 minutes before your workout. That's just, in my opinion, the best way to like get enough volume and practice of the movement in. The next, I guess, a trick to get the handstand or how to get it consistently would be involving the wall. Having a high amount of like wall endurance, like you can hold it for like a minute straight or more than a minute, and with good form, like elbows locked, shoulder elevation, and you're pressing into the ground to control yourself. The next thing you could do would be to slowly move away from the wall. What you can do is that whatever like space that you're comfortable with doing, try to like take a step or two back and just hold the handstand like that. What it's going to do is that's going to force you to go all out in your kipping to grab the wall but still be able to hold yourself. So you'll be like kind of still in alignment and forcing yourself to a more stable structure to balance yourself. So if you can do that, spam the living hell out of it, you will get the handstand. It took me a year to get the handstand, and that's just me spamming it. You can probably get it sooner, you might get it later. Understand that it is a move that's based on your physiology, and it can be different. What I noticed that's easier is having a wider grip. So don't be like shoulder or close grip. Try a wider grip and get in this like stance or like prep to kip up. How to kip up properly for a handstand is you get in like a sprinter stance. Have the shoulders over the wrists. So it's kind of like, this is like right at like neutral. I would probably go a little bit over it. My shoulders over the wrist. Then I kip up. I don't kip over. I picture in my mind kip straight up like a pencil. And that I feel gets me good results every single time. I was just teaching someone last night on how to do it, and it was helping them with their handstands dramatically. So that's basically it. Spam the living hell out of it. Try to make it so where you have the toes on top of the hips, on top of the shoulders, on top of the wrists. It doesn't need to be perfect. What you can do at first is have that little ugly ass banana handstand, and you can slowly modify it over time. It's pretty hard, but I guarantee you it's easier to fix something when you have it. It's just like, I'm trying to have perfect form. It's just like you don't even have the basics yet. So that might be controversial. Some people will be like, oh, you should have perfect form from the beginning. I think I was able to learn a banana handstand at first, and then I slowly made it perfect so I can do it whenever I want. So, I mean, hey, you just want a handstand, go for that route. Eventually, you can perfect it. That's just in my opinion. So I hope that helps. The next video I'm working on right now is the how to bridge the gap from handstand to handstand push-up.